welcome to another of our Christmas video series. Today is the folk tale of the Christmas spider. I had no idea that this was even a thing, even when I lean more towards the gothic aspects of things. I had no idea that spiders are not just for Halloween, but they're for Christmas too. So the legend of the Christmas spider is more prevalent in Eastern Europe, mainly Ukraine, Germany, all the way over there, and it details some of the origin about why we decorate our Christmas trees with tinsel. Now, in the western area of Ukraine, most people decorate their trees with either Christmas spiders or Christmas spider webs, and I am here for it 100%. Now, as with most folk tales, there is no actual origin of where it started. It is a complete mystery. Some people say it started in Ukraine, some people say Germany, some people even say that it all originated in Poland. And nobody can quite agree, but we don't care about that, we're just here for the story. And people say those countries because in those countries it is considered very good luck to find a live spider either in your Christmas tree, on your Christmas tree, or to find an active spider's web on your Christmas tree, and it is very bad luck to disturb said web. You're supposed to leave it there once you find it. And don't even think about killing the spiders, because that's just mean. And this is why that some sources report that Ukrainians choose to decorate their Christmas trees with beaded ornaments of spiders. Much like this one. Because isn't that just beautiful? And no, I didn't make it. I bought it from eBay. And it is all handmade. It's handmade up in Glasgow, I think. And the artist doesn't have an Instagram or an official page or anything. So I'm going to link her eBay profile down in the comments below, because you can get lovely, lovely spiders. Lovely, lovely spiders to decorate your tree for good luck this Christmas. And I'll link that down below, because isn't this just beautiful? Now, there are 3 separate stories for this tradition, so in true folktale fashion, I am going to try and mash them all together and make one. So our story begins with a poor old woman who was a widow and had children, and she lived in a hut with all her little children, and there was no man about, and it was a poor hut. And the story goes that in the summertime a pine cone fell upon the earthen floor and took root in the main room. And the children of the widow were excited at this, and they cared for the pine cone, they made sure it was watered, and it steadily began to grow into a tree. And the tree continued to grow, and it flourished under the care of all these little children. And it grew into the most beautiful, luxurious Christmas tree you could ever imagine, right in the middle of the floor. And when Christmas Eve rolled round, it was the best it had ever looked. However, the children were sad because they were so poor that they could not afford to decorate it with anything. So it was just a pine tree, just in the middle of the floor with nothing on it at all. Which is still very nice, but it's not, they wanted to decorate it for Christmas. So the children sadly went to bed, and they were sad at the prospect of their beautiful tree having no decorations at all to celebrate the Christmas season. But in the middle of the night, the spiders came down from the attic where they'd hidden because the widow had been cleaning, and they wanted to escape the cleaning broom. So the spiders came down from the attic to peek around the house now that it had all been cleaned, and they saw this wonderful, luxurious tree slap bang in the middle of the floor, and in their excitement thought, what a lovely tree! You know what that looks like? That looks like our new home. And really, who can blame them? It was a lovely looking tree. And the spiders were filled with happiness as they scurried along its branches and made webs among its pines, and the whole tree ended up covered in cobwebs all over it. So here's where the 2 stories, or 3 stories, differ, because one has Santa in it and one doesn't, so I'm going to give both. So the first story goes that when Santa came down the chimney to deliver presents for the children, and he saw the Christmas tree just covered in dusty cobwebs, he was really, really happy for the spiders, but he was kind of sad because he knew how much that the widow worked to clean the house for the Christmas period, and she would be very, very upset if she saw their Christmas tree all covered in dusty cobwebs. And so Santa turned the webs into strands of the purest silver so that it shimmered and glistened in the firelight, which of course made the tree even more beautiful than it had been originally. Now the other story goes that when the children came down on Christmas Day, and they came down just as the sun was rising, and as they reached the bottom stair they looked towards where the Christmas tree was, and as they looked towards it the sun rose over the horizon and hit the tree, turning all the strands and all the spiders' webs, and it turned them to actual silver and gold in the light. And the widow and all her children were overjoyed when they saw this, that their naked pine tree was now covered in strands of pure silver and pure gold, and they were overjoyed and that they would never live in poverty ever again. Now the third story has that the spider that went in the tree saw that the children wouldn't get any presents because they were too poor to pay for any, and so it used its web to create silver and gold strands on the tree that turned to actual silver and gold in the morning, and the widow and her children were overjoyed that they would not live in poverty anymore. I prefer the nature one where the sun comes up, hits the tree, everything glistens and turns to gold and silver. That's my favourite, but let me know what yours is down below. And that's the story of tinsel on trees and why every Christmas tree should have a Christmas spider hiding among its branches.